So we're sitting here at Lakeside Meadows. Gabby, say hi.
Hi.
Gabby and I are realtors in the Austin, Texas area. Lakeside Meadows is one of those neighborhoods in Pflugerville, Texas that is getting a lot of excitement, has a lot of excitement because of how they're building it. So what we want to do is take you through the Henderson floor plan. It's by Meritage Homes, and there's a lot of cool stuff to see, but really you just want to understand like how Meritage is different, what's so great about this particular neighborhood. We're coming inside because you have an airplane flying above. Do you think it's coming from the Austin airport or the executive airport?
The executive
Probably
airport.
the executive airport. All right, so first thing, this is a 4-bed, 3-bath home, right? It's built by Meritage. We're going to start off in this first little section. This is like your office, if you will, right? And so the way a lot of these builders do it is they'll show you what makes them different. And that's a common question that I have from a lot of clients, right? They
Correct.
say, well, how do I know it's a good builder?
Yep.
It's like, well, how much can you spend? No, I'm just kidding.
No,
Because that's not always true, but it does matter to people, and they're saying, well, this is my budget, but I still want a good builder. What does good mean? Good is relative to who you are. So let's talk about a couple things that Meritage does differently. And I've sold a ton of Meritage homes. One thing they're known for is what? The insulation.
Yes.
So they do spray foam insulation in their homes, and that helps with sound and energy efficiency. So there are a whole bunch of other things on this list. You were talking about the laundry facilities. Tell me.
Laundry facilities are really large here. It allows you to kind of really personalize them to what you need in a laundry room. But other things that are really important is they have an air-conditioned attic. Thank you. I'm thinking in Spanish.
Right.
Attic. Which,
say it in Spanish.
La azotea.
Nice.
And so it allows, for me, for example, I have quite a bit of storage that I put in my attic because I didn't want it taking up space in my garage. I wanted my garage to be functional.
Absolutely. There are a lot of people that relocate to Austin, Texas, or maybe one of the suburbs of Austin, and they don't understand that we don't have basements.
Correct.
Our storage is extremely limited, and our 2-car garages, most of the time, barely fit 2 cars.
Yeah, and a lot of us don't use our garages for garages.
Exactly. So we're parked outside.
Correct.
And so we use our garages for storage. And so people need to understand that when they're looking at these homes. So having a bump out, maybe even a 3rd car can be valuable. That's not in this community, but definitely something to think through, right? Like,
correct.
Is that the right thing for you? So a couple other things, energy efficient appliances. You've got some home automation built in. What else? We talked about the insulation, the HVAC. I saw a mini split out there, but I think that's a whole other thing.
No, and I think you had pointed out that they have water faucets that are water efficient. So again, a lot of us are looking at energy efficient homes, either that they're built with energy efficient materials or that they have energy efficient things in them. So that windows here are efficient. We have water faucets that are energy efficient. Allows you to have lower utility bills, which is great for air conditioning.
Did you know that the new model Tesla Model Y, I know you're like, I don't want to hear it. The new Tesla Model Y, I believe, is the first vehicle that has low E windows in it.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting? Being built right here in Austin, Texas, about 20 minutes down the road. Okay, so I wanted to show that the builder has won a lot of different national and regional awards, even some first net zero national builder. So these are all things that might matter to you. Before we jump into the next room, all of the other bedrooms seem to have carpet. This one does not, but I believe this is only because they're leveraging it as an office. So that's really important. Can you open up the closet just so people can get an idea for the size of the closet?
I would say this is pretty average for new build homes. However, some of the other rooms actually have some really spacious closets, so that'll be great to see.
Love it. And as we're walking through, if you want to see more about this particular home, it'll be on my website, Gabby's website. I'll put that in the description below. So ianofAustin.com if you want to have more information about this. Let us take a look at the spray foam insulation that Meritage puts in every single home. Okay, and so the idea here, they can prove that they have better energy efficiency than some of the other builders based on their tests. I got to be careful with that, right? I can't just say
based on their
tests,
but they have climate sealed, basically certification, so to speak. And they're trying to show you that in that vent, it's still a certain temperature, which is still pretty cool.
It is cool. 70 degrees. Listen, I'll take it. In the summer in Texas, a 70-degree attic.
No.
We do not get that. Guest bathroom over here. So notice, as soon as you walk in through the front door, you have a guest bathroom directly in front of you, and then both bedrooms or bedroom and office, however you decide that you'd like to make it. But when I say how you decide to make it, you don't actually get a choice. This is one of those builders that builds it as an inventory home. So basically what they have available is what you're going to get. You're not choosing your options and choosing your floors and choosing your kit. You don't get to do that with Meritage.
No customization for your desires.
Exactly.
Per se, but they are elevated as far as the flooring that they've used. A lot of the colors are pretty neutral and really cool.
And it's funny because people ask that all the time. Well, I'm buying it before it's finished. Can I make some changes? Like, no, sorry, you can't. You have to wait for them to be finished, and then you can bring in your custom crew to do whatever it is.
Sure, but one of the nice things of the reasons why that happens is because they're passing along savings to you because they're buying everything in bulk. Therefore they're able to pass along some of these savings. I mean, you could get a custom home built, but it's going to be way more expensive
price per square foot
because of that customization.
I just want to point this out. We can't show you the garage because in any builder homes, generally the garage is reserved for where they're putting their offices. And so this is a model home. This is a coat closet, right?
Yep.
Let's show the coat closet, and then your little mud area, right? So I like that it's off as soon as you come out of the garage. You have a place to put your shoes, place to put your coat, and it's independent of the front entrance, right? Sometimes you'll have the front entrance and then a coat closet right here, and then around the corner you got to go to the garage. And so basically people with dirty feet are coming straight around, marking up the floors. This was a pretty thoughtful design choice, I think.
I agree.
So what's over to the left here?
So to the left we have our first bedroom and the laundry room to the right.
Let's go straight to the bedroom. Oh, nice construction view outside of the windows. So if I keep going that direction, that's where the lake is, right? Yeah. Right past there is the is Lake Pflugerville, perfect for lots of things. Perfect for kayaking, fishing, jogging, all that sort of stuff. There's a bathroom in this bedroom. Yep. That's huge, 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 right? So this is perfect for like almost like a next gen setup, maybe a teenager, maybe a roommate, right? There's so many variables, so many reasons why you'd want to have a bedroom in the bathroom.
Yeah.
A bathroom in the bedroom. This one, it looks like they set it up for a teenager that likes mountain bikes, but this is just a model home, right?
Yeah.
So they do have it staged that way. The furniture does not come with it. Notice the bedrooms are carpeted. That's going to be typical for this neighborhood and this builder.
Huge laundry room.
Let's talk about this. So there's something called a pest barrier with a lot of different builders these days. Yep. And people ask like, why would I buy a 2019 home versus a 2025 home? So one of the things is pest tubes and barriers are becoming a lot more common because they realize Texas has bugs. I don't know why. I don't know where they learned that. But so because Texas has bugs, sometimes they'll run tubes through the house. So the, the exterminator, they can just come up to the house, plug in a little device, and it'll spray it through your entire home versus them having to come in and spray all the corners and do that sort of thing. So this home is built with that in mind. Share some more information about the laundry room.
Well, I just love how large it is. Obviously, it's super customizable.
I know, I'm trying to get far back here. Let's see.
I mean, you can literally put a folding table over here. You can have a hanging rack somewhere to help with the laundry, but I love the size of this.
I liked the pull-down irons. Back when I used to iron my clothes, I buy a lot of clothes that you don't have to iron these days, but having the fold-out ironing board, it's rarely that you have enough room to have the fold-out ironing board as well as still have the washer and dryer next to it. So this has plenty of room. You could probably even fit a fridge here if there's an outlet. Like, you have so much space. Extra fridge.
100%. There's a ton of space to create.
What's this? A couple things.
Another linen closet, I believe.
Okay, so we've got another linen closet. We have attic access. It's out of the way. I saw a house yesterday. The attic access was over the kitchen counter. Yeah. I was like, what? Half the time, so if it's a little bit of an older home or depending on the builder, they'll put the attic access, or depending on the number of stories, they'll put the attic access in the garage. And so in order to get into your attic, let's say your water heater goes out in the middle of the night, it's 2 a.m, and you do park in your garage, you have to back out of the garage in order to pull the attic down, the attic ladder down in order to go relight your pilot, for example.
These are one of the things that I think enough builders don't do, and they're not thoughtful of the way that they're building for actual every day-to-day use. And this is one of the things that shows this builder is thinking about that.
Very true.
In your day-to-day use.
I like this space. You called it out a couple times. Tell me what your thoughts are on this space.
So I love this space because a lot of people would call this a second living room, possibly a play area. For me, I love it because so many of us are working from home and we don't necessarily want to be in an office that you have to lock, right? It allows you to have a play area for your kids. It allows you to set up your workspace from here. You could have computers plugged in here. It's still open. So, you know, you have family coming by, you have children coming by. It's not necessarily that nobody can bother you. I love that about this space. And obviously the accent walls don't hurt it at all. It really shows dimension and depth. And so again, these aren't normally stock in the builder's homes, but it gives you an idea as to what you can do when you decide to customize your home.
Right. So there are a couple variables in here. One of them is I like the idea of being able to add a sliding door. I saw this in a build long time ago, and an architecture had done this. And he had this beautiful wide open space, but he had a barn style sliding door. Your wall actually has to be a particular setup for that to work. This allows for that, right? Instead of having to close it entirely, you can add the sliding door, because look how long it has to be. Right? It has to, the door has to have enough space to cover the area. So I think that could be really cool here. I would probably put in a fan. So I'm going to talk about negative, because that's another thing. A lot of real estate agents, a lot of realtors, brokers, people that are talking about homes, builders even. So if you're buying a new construction home, they're showing you the highlights. They're not talking about the bad stuff. In this case, you're getting an office area or an office space. You could be getting that, but it doesn't count as an extra room. So some people might be looking for, in this case, there's a 4th bedroom, but let's say they want a 4th bedroom plus an office. Does this actually count as an office? I don't know. So that's number one. Number two, because it's a single story home, if you made this a play area, what do you think is going to happen when all the toys are out? Every single person that comes in this house is going to see, oh, what happened there, which is where the barn style door comes in really fun, right? And so that's kind of a negative. You have to work extra hard to keep this playscape clean, because everyone's going to be walking past it before they can get to the kitchen or the living room. So you want to talk positives and negatives under every circumstance, because whether you're living in this for a short while, whether you're investing in the Austin, Texas area, and you just want to have a home that makes a lot of sense for people, or, you know, you might have it for a couple of years and then need to sell it, the people that you're talking to are going to look at that sort of thing. They're going to look at how are they going to use this.
Right? And as someone who has smaller kids, I mean, one of the perks of having that is that you could literally, if you're having guests over, that could be the kids watching TV playing.
Absolutely. You don't even have to have a TV in here.
Well, that's the thing. You can have your adults over here, your kids over there. The good thing and the bad thing is you can hear them, you can see them, you can make sure nothing's happening. Bad thing is you're also going to hear them. So if they're loud, they're going to be interrupting all the conversation.
That's a good point, is that it's going to be very loud, but you can also hear, think about safety.
100%.
If somebody's crying or something happened, you can hear that. So that's pretty cool. And it's close.
I mean, I think for me, it's a positive.
And it's a single story. So you don't have to worry about like hearing a big thud upstairs and because some kid knocked his head against another kid's head, because that's the kind of stuff that happens, right? You don't have to worry about that. You can just walk over here and say, oh, you ran into the wall yourself? Okay, good, fine. I want to talk about the kitchen a little bit. This is a community that is still natural gas. I would say in the Austin, Texas area, it's like 50-50 whether or not a community is gas, like has gas versus electric. And I don't think people are ready for that, right? If you're from California, you're probably used to, oh, wait, what do you mean? You have gas as an option, right? New York, wait, you don't have a boiler in your home? No, we have natural gas, okay? Because our home's not 100 years old. So I want to show you that. My first indication is you always look at the oven, and that'll let you know most of the time if they're using natural gas. I like that there is a dishwasher here. Pretty interesting sink. It's not that interesting. I do like that they have this, the fresh water, the filtered water spout. I would rather have a hot water spout. Personally, that's just me though.
So I actually replaced mine with, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen them on TikTok and whatnot, but they're the spray.
Yes.
So that you turn them upside down and just clean out your glassware.
Oh yeah, that's a really cool one.
So I installed it. It literally took 5 minutes. It's really quick install, but it's a huge upgrade for us. The other thing to be aware of in these obviously look beautiful, but they are a little bit hard to open. You install your own hardware on these when you move in. And the nice thing about that is, again, it's customizable. You can go as weird as you want to or be as modern and super cool. as you can.
You know, you gave me a really good point. I did a video called 53 Things That First-Time Home Buyers Need when they're getting into the home that they may not think about. And so that's actually a really good point. Because you have to buy your hardware, I don't know that people know that there's this little triangle thing that you can buy, and I'll link it in the description below. But you buy that little triangle thing, and it makes sure that your hardware, when you're putting it on, is straight every time. It kills me when you go into a remodeled home, and it's like, crooked.
So the one I have is not a triangle.
Okay.
It is a rectangle,
Okay.
but it has a ledge on it.
And it has a
allows
ledge.
you to measure.
I love
Super
it.
easy. The other thing is a personal DIY tip.
Yeah.
Put tape on the back of it so that when you drill through, you don't splinter your wood.
Ooh, that's a good one. Can you open the top above the microwave?
Yeah. So I'm a little bit short. You're going to see me strain.
Okay, sorry, but I wanted to showcase this. This is a vent out in the kitchen. This is not something that all builders do, but probably all builders should. So if you're somebody that spends a lot of time in the kitchen, or I gotta be careful with this. I gotta be careful with how I say this. Or the dishes that are prepared in your kitchen have a strong scent. People, you need this, right? If you have somebody coming over to your house, let's say for showings, if you're going to go sell it later, or visitors or whatever, like that, being able to vent out not only is a safety thing, but it helps with the odor, right? It helps with the smell, whatever you're cooking in your home. So the
other option, I know I've seen this done quite a bit also, is because that vent opening is already there, people will actually put a vent hood here. They'll take this microwave out, put it somewhere else, and they'll put a vent hood. If you are a cook, that's completely an option that you're able to do, and it does obviously allow you to be a professional chef in your own home.
And it's good that like most of these microwaves will have something, or you can buy an upgraded microwave that'll allow you to do that. But yeah, at that point you just do a hood. You're probably not using the microwave very often.
No, you're probably
also not. These are taller cabinets.
They are,
right? So they're almost to the ceiling. I'd probably put some lights up there. You can't put any plants or pots, but you can. That one you can, right? So
yeah.
Based on the curvature of the roof, notice how it slants down a little bit over there. Good and bad for different reasons. Yep. That was just a camera. They had a camera in there. Now, what this particular builder is doing is, if you need to come view a model home, you actually have to reach out to a realtor, and then they'll leverage our relationships to make sure that you get to see any of the Meritage homes now. So it's pretty cool. Corner pantry. That's the last thing I want to talk about in the kitchen specifically.
So it's large, but you're going to see all our stuff in there.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I think they just want to understand how much space you have in here.
So
because if it's not a corner,
I can do both of my arms fully open.
Yeah, but you're like.
I'm 5'2".
I was gonna say. I was gonna say you're like 6 inches shorter than the average person. I have zero room to talk. I'm a tiny man myself, so I get it. Okay. Do you want to do bedroom or out back? Let's do the bedroom.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's do bedroom. Stay inside for a minute and then go out. Right. So the master, super spacious.
Yeah.
Again, carpeted here. Now, the nice thing about, again, going back into pros and negatives, is all the high traffic areas have the non-carpeted floors.
Yes.
And I think a lot of us choose to rip out the carpet in these rooms if we have pets or, aging parents, because we don't want them shuffling on carpet. But on the other hand, slip can be an issue as well. Yep. So just something to be aware of that you can definitely change out once you get in. But this is a great spacious one. I know it kind of limits the height of the ceiling for it to have this slanted edge, but I think it's a great dramatic effect that it has within the house.
The edge here.
Yep. You can see it here.
Like sometimes they'll do coffered ceilings or something. That's a fancy thing that Meritage doesn't typically do. So like when you're talking about like how do the builders differ, they don't do a lot of fancy things because they focus on energy efficiency, and they tend to focus on value for the client.
Yeah.
Obviously, value is one of those things that's subjective, though. So there is something missing, depending on who you are. I have all these clients that are like, I need a bathtub. I can't buy a house without a bathtub. And then you ask them later, 2-3 years later, how many times did you use that bathtub that you needed to have? Twice.
So I was that person.
Yep.
I bought my last house and I was like, where's the bathtub? Because it has one just like this. And honestly, I have a bathtub in the house, and I think I've used it twice in the 6 years I've been there.
Yeah.
Actually, showers are fantastic. It's easy to keep clean. We love it.
Especially when it's all tile like that.
Yeah.
It's not all the whatever the material is down there that they're using in this.
Yeah.
I didn't even see it. That's how clean the glass is. That is hilarious. Oh my goodness.
But again, this closet is ginormous. Now, this is a typical builder's closet, but you could customize this with, you know, everybody's doing like the IKEA packs shelving, or you could even go to the Container Store and get your own design there.
I've got a buddy that works for Closets by Design who can help you if you're like really into making sure that your closet space is as functional as possible, designed well.
But this space is fantastic.
Yeah, this is a good size closet. Notice they don't have the
shelving.
The shelving like a lot of people might be used to. And I think it's because it's easy to take this off and they wanted to save money. I think it's both of those, right?
I think it's probably a little bit of both. I mean, you want to be able to have, if you're having double hanging, it's because they're expecting all of this to be hanging. Therefore, you don't need a shelf.
Nobody's hanging this much stuff.
Speak for yourself, Ian. Speak for yourself. We're not going to do a tour of my house, but
I do want to show how large this is. I don't need the knee space when I'm sitting on the seat here, but for the people that are like 6 feet tall and taller, this is incredible. You could basically make this your own sanctuary. I love it. That's important, right? You could have a magazine rack. You could have a phone charger, all that sort of stuff in there, right?
Well, for those of us that are moms with small children, you can have a small play center in there because you know children will never leave you alone even while you're in the bathroom.
I didn't want to hear that. I actually had no idea that was going to come out of your mouth. Okay.
I'm serious. Moms will know what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right, we're not going to get locked out, are we? Okay, so we're in the back. This is kind of important to talk through. There's a lot of things that are important to talk through. So obviously the American and the Texas flag, American flag being raised highest on the mast. I don't even know why I brought that up. I wanted to actually showcase the gutters around the whole home, right? Because you don't always get that with builders. There's a slight slant, but that can be good and bad. It can be good because now if there's any issue with water, remember, this is the model home too. Not all of the lots are like that. But if you ever have any water, heavy rains, it runs, one, the gutter's going to catch it so you don't have any issues on your foundation, but also it runs away from the home. Okay, but Gabby, tell me about these fences. Help me understand. Why would they have an opening in the fence like this?
So again, I moved into a neighborhood where the last 2 phases were just built within the last year, and they moved to this style of fencing for all of those houses.
Yeah.
The builder there basically explained that it was to reduce fire hazards.
Yeah.
And a lot of communities are moving to this type of metal fencing.
Yeah.
I don't personally love it. I mean, so I'm an 80s child and we grew up with normal wood fencing. But I have small children, and so again, the idea of having my privacy is something that I've always enjoyed. These are also lower fencing than the wooden fencing that we're used to seeing, which is typically, I think, like 5, almost 6 feet tall, 5 something. So I don't love it for that reason, but I can also see how this makes sure that people are keeping their backyards clean, and that they're maintaining HOA standards. So there could be a plus to that if people are actually maintaining HOA standards. If not, it's going to be really easy to fine if you're not.
I was going to say, I'm calling BS on that. I think they just wanted a certain vibe in the neighborhood. This allowed them to do that, because it reinforces the community feeling where when people are walking by, you almost have to say hi. Like if you're standing out in your backyard and you're grilling or you're doing whatever, or you're hanging out on your patio because you have extra space. This is an extended patio compared to a lot of other builders. You're just hanging out. If somebody walks by and you don't say hi, now you're the jerk. Right? So you have to engage. I do love that they have a fence here. I don't know if they put this on everything, but at least with the model, and knowing that the HOA will allow you to add a fence to the walking trail. Look at how far this path goes.
Yeah.
Right? And then, like I said, you've got the lake over there. You've got schools, all the schools for all the grades right here.
So I do you see how they open gates there? There's one right here. So I do think that it's something that they, again, were thoughtful and mindful of, allowing you to have access to the walking trail. And so they put in a gate.
They even have it where it stops here. So, like, first off, you don't need your yard all the way up there, your gate all the way up there. Some people like that, but other people, it really just depends. A lot of times, just the fact that you have your AC over there, you don't want your kids or your dogs or whatever running around over there.
But what I don't love about this is, again, anybody can access this. We don't have a door lock on this. That's on this one. It could look like that one.
There's a purple fence post rule. I'm just kidding. We're not talking about that.
The thing is, you can also jump this at any level.
I was going to say, I could jump this so easy.
Now, I know that this is very tedious, but you see me flipping these. These actually need to be flipped out. It should help the water run down, not keep it in there. So it should go like that.
I am going to complain a little bit about there being lights on here. A couple things.
Okay.
I don't know if it's directly a complaint. There are lights out here. There's 2 of them.
Yeah.
It is easy for you to be able to add a fan, a ceiling fan, or I guess a patio fan. The thing is, the builder didn't do it because they don't want people to have to pay for it, and they want, pay for them to do it, because it ends up being a lot more money, and most people are going to opt to get their own. That's number one. But the good part of it is they made it where it's braced for a fan. So if you want to go do your own, you actually have 2 spots. You can put 2 cool little fans, make it look however you want, and you're good to go, right? I like that they have it there. I don't like that they didn't give you options when they're building, but they're also not doing that. This is just an inventory. So they build, they'll put whatever fan, and then you're going to have to take that down and put your own fan anyway. Well, it's kind of a hassle. They're trying to help you avoid that hassle.
The same thing with blinds. This model home has blinds.
Oh, yes. Good point.
These are the blinds that they sell you.
Yes.
If you want them. The actual homes come blind free. They come with nothing.
Extremely important. We're going to go look at one of those. So make sure that if you like this kind of conversation, that you subscribe to the channel. We're going to walk through and talk about some of these other homes and other floor plans with Meritage here in the near future. Okay, cool. I like it. I like the home. I like the builder. I like how efficient they made the floor plan. I like that they got rid of all the carpets except for in the bedrooms. It's easy to change that. The fact that it's a single story is kind of interesting because that changes who can purchase this home. Almost anybody can purchase a single story, right?
Yeah.
But it takes up a lot more of your yard.
It does take up some of your yard. It really depends on what you're planning to do with the yard anyways. Yeah. A lot of these communities will come with great community centers, meaning pools.
Exactly.
Some kind of a small playground for the family and whatnot. What I love about floor plans like this, though, especially the split floor plans, is a lot of us are already thinking about having parents move in with us. Yeah. Right? And so they have a whole bedroom, bathroom back there, completely separate from the other area.
Great multi-generational option.
Yes, completely a good option. And again, the kitchen's still central. Everything is still kind of central. In this area of Pflugerville, it's so close.
It's so close to everything.
To so many things. And the tollway that's right here.
Yeah.
You can be in San Antonio in an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
That's how close that stuff is. But there's a Costco nearby. There's a Target nearby. There's a lot of great restaurants opening up because Samsung is expanding.
Yes.
Not that far from here. They're building a bigger outdoor community space that's going to house apartments and small retail stores and more restaurants. So this area is still building. It's still getting bigger and bigger. House values will only bound to improve with all of that coming in.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to see the full build out, but that's still a couple years away.
Yeah.
So that's good. If people are thinking about buying now and they know that they're going to live here for the next 10 years, they get to watch the growth or be part of the growth and have a high level of confidence that their property will increase in value because of all the growth, right? Okay. Thank you for taking the time with me. If y'all have any questions or you want to know anything more, make sure you hit us up in the description below. And we appreciate you, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you, Gabby.
Bye.